So let me ask a question that some church folks often get nervous about. If science indeed says that matter cannot be created or destroyed, then did God really create the earth from nothing? Or did God just clean up the cosmic garbage that was out there? We're going to discuss that. Because Genesis 1 does not open with God standing in a blank white room saying, let me go ahead and whip up some atoms. No, Genesis actually says the earth was complete chaos and darkness covered the face of the deep. That's Genesis 1:2. By the way, I use the NSRVUE. Now pause right there. The phrase complete chaos comes from the Hebrew tohu, va-bohu. It means uniform, empty, wild, not ready for life, not evil, not demonic, not somebody done let Satan in the kitchen, just unshaped. And the deep is tehom. Ancient readers heard dark waters, mystery, disorder. You know, the kind of deep you don't swim in unless God personally signed the waiver. Then Genesis says the ruach, Elohim, moved over the waters. That can mean spirit of God, wind of God, or breath of God. Take your pick. So before there is light, before land, before humans started naming stuff and messing half of it up, God is moving over chaos. Here's where we get lazy. Some people say Genesis clearly teaches creation from nothing. Case closed. Others say Genesis sounds ancient, so throw it away. Both are too small. This is a false dilemma. Genesis is not trying to be, a physics textbook. It's doing theology. It is saying God is not scared of the deep. God does not fight chaos like some cosmic WWE match. God speaks, light comes, order begins. It's that simple. Now, later Christian theology develops creatio ex nihilo. Creation out of nothing. That came later. In the ancient times, there was no ex nihilo. It says God is the source of all things. But Genesis 1 is also showing us something deeply human. God brings order where life feels unformed. Let that sink in. And that'll preach without the organist needing to warm up. Because some of us know chaos, anxiety, grief, real religious trauma, and faith that got handled rough by people who knew verses but lacked fruit. Let that sink in. Genesis does not shame the deep. God hovers over it. And neuroscience backs the hope here. The brain can change. Patterns can be rewired. Fear can lose power. Faith can be rebuilt. Not instantly. Don't get it twisted. Not because somebody yelled, just trust God loud enough, but through practice, through safety, through truth, through one small act of order at a time. So maybe the question is not only did God create from nothing? Maybe the question is, what deep in me is God still willing to meet? Because Genesis does not begin by pretending chaos isn't there. It begins with God moving over it. Baby, let me tell you, that's a whole word right there. So if you want to learn more about this, I unpack this much deeper in my Gloves Off Theology devotional, When God Met the Deep. We're talking Genesis, science, chaos, Hebrew context, and why your questions are not a threat to real faith. You can read it over on my Substack. I'll provide the link below, and bring your questions. We don't do scared theology over here. We do it gloves off.